Greetings, traveler. It is a pleasure to see you. You made it here just in time to seek shelter from a storm that is about to break. But please, don't just stand out here in the weather. You are more than welcome to enter my humble abode and share the fire with me.
You have to let it all go, Neil. Fear, doubt, and disbelief. Free your mind.
Well, traveler, I've been busy doing a lot of other things as of late, but a video popped up on my news feed. And I have to admit, I've been in the mood for a response video, but there hasn't been anybody around worth giving a response to. Not that this particular woman is worthy either, but it just so happens I got nothing better to do today. So it appears that you were triggered enough to produce a channel just so you could discuss this video from Coach Greg Adams. Well, what was that saying? Be careful what you wish for. You may get it. Alrighty now. Right from the jump, you used the word outrageous. And I'm an awake red pill man. I know you're using language to try to manipulate the hearer's emotions right from the jump. It don't work with someone that's awake. So, I'm hearing all this crying about how men are worthless. And the question that immediately comes to mind is, what value do you bring to the table? Now, you mentioned being overweight and how, that shouldn't disqualify anybody, any woman from getting a good man. Or I've been there. And if a person is overweight, they're unhealthy. I tried to get my ex-wife to exercise, but eventually it boiled down to two responses. One was, she hurt too much to exercise. That one, I can understand. I hurt a lot too. And the other that I heard more and more often as she gained more weight was that, you just want me to do that because you want a skinny wife that you can show off. And what are you supposed to do when your woman is 370 pounds and now she can't exercise? You still gonna blame the man when the man was right there at her side trying to help? Oh, well, obviously you do, because you did it all through your video. My ex-wife took that path on purpose, out of spite. You modern women refuse to improve yourselves. You say, a real man would take me just as I am. I don't need to change for you. Well, how many beautiful women do you see dating 400-pound men? Not many. And if there are, the only reason she's hanging out with him is because he's a beta. and she's hanging out with him just to take his money. You hammered the point home over and over how women deserve a provider, how they deserve a protector, how they deserve to be taken care of. But you repeatedly fail to show what value you bring to the table besides use, peace, leave, and grief. And that's absolutely logical, and that's what frightens you. But you didn't want to mention that, did you? And then you go to that same old tired line. Oh, we're finally free from the chains of patriarchy. We've got our rights, and we're never going back. Okay, tell me straight up. What rights does a man have that a woman does not? Go ahead, I'll wait. You're a typical modern woman in that you're displaying an abundance of entitlement. You're still reaping all the benefits of being a protected person, while demanding inclusion in places where you are not qualified. And call me a liar? What about the California law that mandates 50% of seats on the board of a corporation must be women? There's no mention of if you're qualified. It's just, you better put one there. And you have used feminism very well for a double whammy. You demanded and received a release from all of your obligations that came with tradition, with the role of being a wife, a mother, a nurturer. And you still demand that men adhere to every tradition as demanded by feminism. But where is the upside for men? Tell me. You came off running at the mouth claiming you had all the answers. Right now I'm hearing crickets. So, modern culture has labeled men like me, who have walked away from estrogen-fueled emotional entanglements. We're called woman haters. No surprise there. You women have a platform to spew hate on a regular basis. No one challenges you. In fact, it's encouraged and applauded. I mean, no doubt you would agree with just a few of these statements. Like, all men are rapists, and that's all they are. We should just kill all the men. Men should be reduced to 10% of the population. Oh, by the way, are you married? With that nasty attitude you have, if you have a husband, he deserves a medal. And don't say you're not nasty, because your very language proves how nasty you are. You have a repeated pattern. You're saying something slightly negative, and then you throw on something vile at the end. It's obvious that your misandry runs deep, especially when you casually say, first you said 80% of men are not good enough, and then you ramped it up to 95. So right off the jump, out of 20 men, you're going to double tap 19 just because they're a waste of oxygen and space. Who is the entitled one now? There is zero consideration for how the man feels. In fact, you made a point of saying we are all scum who refuse to work, will beat and rape his wife, and keep her deliberately barefoot and pregnant. So from your skewed perspective, no man considers any woman a human being. And it's kind of obvious what you think of us, that we're not human, because you don't give a bald rat's ass about a man. Your only interest in a man is in what you can extract from him. You are a liar. And at the end you said you're kind of over that video. Well, I'm kind of over you already. And your entitled attitude. Women just like you are the reason I walked away. Entitled, lazy, narcissistic, and treacherous. A lethal combination of lamprey, succubus, and vulture. You provide nothing of value while killing your host. And then when there's a drained husk, you just kick the corpse to the curb and move on to the next victim with no shame, no guilt, no remorse. That's disgusting. Well, traveler, I apologize for subjecting you to this rant, but I tell you, as bad as things are, there are entitled, lazy, narcissistic, and treacherous thoughts out there that are trying to make things worse. There is not one word of cooperation, or compromise, or consensus in this woman's soul, if she has one. She's constantly crying about her oppression, even though the media, the culture, the court system are all lined up to give men the pimp hand and take everything they have, including their life, in a vain attempt to make you happy. And believe me, any man who has a few grams of sanity left is walking away from creatures like you. Now, I'm making this video just because you made a point of responding on my comment on that video. Now, if you don't want more people to jump all over you and tell you how wrong you are, use a little bit of brain power and do not put MGTOW in your videos. You leave us alone, we'll leave you alone. Believe me, I'm still abstinent, and being with a meatbag woman is the last thing on my mind. Why? You are zero value added. So I'm trying to be nice here. There are lots more people that are much more mean than me that just might break their foot off in your ass for you coming up and talking shit like this. So just remember, this time next week, when you're nursing your wounds, I was the nice one. So, traveler, I hope you have heard or seen something of value from this rant. And remember, I still say, some of the best days of your life haven't happened yet.